Hi everybody and welcome to my channel. I am super excited to be filming and also a little bit nervous. I've definitely never done anything like this before, and this is probably going to surprise at least a few of my family members and friends that I am willingly putting myself on camera. I thought my first video could be a sort of get ready with me / get to know me. I'm just going to do my everyday makeup look, which as you see here is already done. If you like what you see and you want to see how I do it and get to know a little bit more about me, how I do my makeup, my likes, my dislikes, my quirks, techniques, habits, please keep watching. Remember, if you like what you see, please like and subscribe. And with that being said, let's get started. So to get started, I'm taking my NARS Radiant Creamy Concealer, and I'm just going to use this to prime my lids. I don't always do this, but I've noticed it does tend to help the shadows pop more. And every once in a while, I will do it. It just depends on how much time I have in the morning. So now that my eyes are prepped and primed, I'm gonna go into the original Naked palette in the shade Naked and start working that where I want to form my crease. Now, because I have naturally deep set hooded eyes, if I were to apply these shadows where my crease actually is, they wouldn't show up. So I tend to put them where I want them to be and create a fake crease above where my natural one is, right about where that orbital bone is. If you're wondering where that is on you, you can feel it. It's right under your brow before your sockets. So I'm just taking that shade and working it in. I'm also trying to keep my shadow as straight as possible as opposed to curved, because I don't want my eyes to look even more downturned than they already are, which just makes sense for hooded lids. Now I'm gonna go in the same palette with the shade Buck, and I'm just gonna go over where I put Naked. I'm gonna keep going with one of my favorite shades in the whole palette called Smog. I also have the matching 24/7 eye glide pencil from Urban Decay in the same color. It's such a gorgeous shade. I wish they would come out with a jumbo eye crayon that I could just put it on my lids in the morning, blend it out super light, and be out the door. This is one of my absolute favorite go-to shades. Another one of my favorite shades in this palette is the shade Sidecar. It is just such a gorgeous, shimmery taupe. It looks so pretty on the lid. Now, admittedly, it looks better when applied wet, but I don't really have that kind of time this morning, so I'm just gonna go in and apply it as is. I'm really trying to pack it on the best I can to get the most pigment payoff. Now this might be a little too smoky of a look for people for every day, but this is me pretty much all the time. I love a good smoky look. I always have, I probably always will. Now that my eyes are to this point, I'm gonna go in and start working on my face. My foundation lately has been the NARS Sheer Glow foundation. It's a really nice medium coverage foundation that is one of the few foundations I feel I can actually legitimately build up without it getting cakey. I don't often feel like I need to go in and redo and touch up certain spots, but every once in a while, you know, acne flares up. Sometimes you just gotta go in and do what you have to. This is also a really, really good foundation for dry skin, or at least so far I haven't had any issues with it. I've been told to try the It Cosmetics CC cream, baby cream, Your Skin But Better cream. I don't know, one of those creams. And while it went on super moisturizing and it smelled like lemon cake, which was amazing, it completely dried my skin out within the first week of me using it. I mean, flakes everywhere. It was horrible. I tried everything to make that foundation work and it just didn't. But on the other hand, the coverage is great. So if you have skin that isn't super, super dry, maybe it'll work for you. Now that my foundation is done, I'm gonna go back in with my same NARS Radiant Creamy Concealer that I used on my lids. I'm just gonna go in and touch up a few spots, especially under my eyes. Now, because I kind of have more of a downturned mouth, I like to take my concealer along my bottom lip line and just angle it up. Now, while I definitely love this foundation concealer combo, it's definitely one that you still have to apply powder over and set. You could go without, but it's just one of those types of foundations that never really feels to fully set in to your skin, and powder just keeps it in place throughout the day. So I'm just gonna go in with my True Match powder, which I've been using since high school, and apply with a big fluffy brush. Now for an extra step with my powder, I like to go in with a foundation brush and work that powder in under my eyes and around my nose. Now, it might seem strange to use a foundation brush, but it really helps to work that product into your skin. It's not quite baking, but I feel like it's a step above setting. And the angles of the foundation brush just really helps to get that product into the nooks and crannies, like around your nose. Now that my foundation concealer is done, I'm gonna go in and start working on my brows. I use the eyebrow styler from MAC in the shade Lingering. And to start, I'm just gonna sweep those brow hairs up just a little bit, just to see what I'm working with. And now I go in with product. Now that my brows are done, I'm gonna go in and start working on my lower lash line. I'm gonna go in with the shade Naked again and just start working that in all across that bottom. Now, just like I did up top, I'm gonna go in with Buck and do the same. And now Smog. Now, unlike what I did with my lids up above, I'm going to go in with the shade Darkhorse, and I'm going to apply this specifically in that very outer corner of my eye and then transition it up into my upper lids as well. Now that my eyeshadows are done, I'm going to go in and start working on mascara. I typically apply 2 different types of mascara, but I'm going to start with the Benefit They're Real mascara. So to finish up my lashes, I'm going to go in with the Too Faced Better Than Sex mascara in the original formula. Normally I would totally buy the waterproof version of anything, but for some reason the waterproof version of this mascara did not work for me. I'm a huge fan of the original formula, but the waterproof for some reason would not fully dry down on my lashes. And because of my deep set eyes, I always have problems with mascaras smudging and flaking, and it just didn't work for me. That one especially. I was going to swear off the whole thing until a friend recommended that I try the original formula just to see. So I went ahead and gave it a shot, and I love it. I absolutely love it. So I'm going to go in with the original formula and finish up my lashes. Now that we're in the home stretch, I'm going to go in and start working on warming up my face. I'm going to go in with a MAC Mineralize Skinfinish that I've had forever. I believe it was part of a limited edition from at least 5 years ago. Because I am so fair, I have a really hard time finding shades that work for me. A lot of times contours, bronzers, they end up way too dark or pull way too warm, and that just doesn't work. So whenever I find something that works, I usually stock up, which is what happened in this case. Now I'm going to move on to probably my favorite blush product ever. This is the MAC Warm Soul Mineralize Blush. It is the most gorgeous shade of pinky nude I have ever found in a blush. It works on so many different skin tones, and because it is a mineralized formula, there are tiny little shimmer light reflex in it, which is so great if you want a really nice lit from within glow. Now, aside from the blush, I'm going to go in with probably my favorite product out of all of the products that I've used here this morning so far. This is the Becca Light Chasers Highlight in Champagne Flashes Bellini. Anybody who knows me knows that I am obsessed with peach, and I love to glow. It is just the most gorgeous peach highlight I have ever seen. In fact, I've never seen a highlight this shade before, honestly. You've got your golds, you've got your pinks, but peach, I mean, given the craze of peach the past few years in the makeup industry, why has there only been one person come out with a peach highlight? I need more in my life. That's all there is to it. When I highlight my nose, I never highlight all the way down. I only highlight the bridge and the tip, just because I don't necessarily need my nose looking longer than it is. I just want it to show where it naturally would catch light. Oh my God, that glow. Seriously. Now what I really like to do, I like to go in with whatever highlight I use during the day, whether it's this one, whether it's another one, and I like to take it on a small shadow brush, and I like to apply it right under my brow bone, just to lift that even higher. The fact that I use the same highlight shade really helps to keep the look looking cohesive. I also like to take it on my inner corner. Last but certainly not least are lips. And while I love doing a bolder lip look, and I definitely don't shy away from it at any point, I think I'm just gonna go with a nice nudie pink with this today. The NYX Soft Matte Lip Creams are probably my favorite blend of liquid lipstick on the market. The formula is so nice. It doesn't dry down too quickly. If you make a mistake, you can go in and fix it before it dries down and all hope is lost. It's just so nice. They go on like butter. It does take a few minutes to dry down, but once it does, it stays. The shade range is gorgeous. So today I'm going to go in with Canis. It's pretty, trust me. Thank you guys so much for watching my first video and taking the time to get to know me. Remember, if you like this look and want to see more like it in the future, go ahead and hit those like and subscribe buttons down below. Until next time.